Good evening. Welcome back to the Glazov Gang, our second segment. Our tough and intellectual gang members this evening. Dwight Schultz, Hollywood actor. He was Murdock on NBC's The A-Team. Evan Sayet, America's #1 conservative comedian, and at one time on the B-Team. Right?
So the joke bombs the first show. Let's bring it back the second time
Tommi,
and own it.
Trudeau, an unapologetic liberal. And you have, he's, well, I have to say it for the viewers, a producer of films.
I'm just a liberal. What matters?
No, I know.
I personally
but
find
he's a producer of films and music videos.
And I find it offensive you haven't introduced Mr. Snugglebunny.
And who is
Don't
this?
make fun of. I need him here for support. Because I'm not supported here.
We're supporting
you.
By the Glazov gang, and it's gang is the right word because every time I come on this stupid show, I'm ganged up on.
Okay, it's not a stupid show. No, at least take that back. That it's
okay,
not.
I take it back.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Already vilifying.
It's not a stupid show. You're just stupid.
Hey,
right?
Hey,
okay.
Hey, that's completely out of line.
Okay,
you know what? Now listen, listen. I want to touch on something here because I wanted to ask you this. Okay.
Okay.
I have many Russian friends who I love very much. But I can tell one thing about you because I know you're from Russia, and I'll bet you anything that, unlike my friends, you were raised by, like, the KGB or something, Glazov. Am I right?
No, you're actually
Is it 'cause he's
wrong.
Jewish?
We were persecuted by the KGB.
Yeah, right. Always, no.
Okay.
No, you don't seem like my Russian friends who are very kind and loving. You're always... And also, what's really interesting is my Russian friends are liberal.
By the way,
all of
if
them
he
are
were raised by the
liberal.
KGB, when you knocked on the table, he would have gotten afraid.
Okay, gentlemen, in Egypt, elections there, we see candidates being disqualified, a big mess, but at the same time, Muslim Brotherhood rising. Evan, are you concerned about the Muslim Brotherhood rising, and is it just a fact that it's going to happen?
I don't know the answer to this because you've got to imagine that the army that had kept the Muslim Brotherhood down and in place for all these years isn't going to turn over power that quickly. On the other hand, what other force is there? So I imagine civil war has got to be what comes, and I think it's going to be the army versus the Muslim Brotherhood, and we'll see who's able to win.
Dwight.
Yes, well, the thing which I'm most disturbed about is that the intelligence officer who was part of the military who was running, his name was Suleiman, right out of Lord of the Rings, and he has been disqualified too. And I was looking forward, because it's one of those names I can pronounce.
It's also a song by Neil Diamond, isn't it?
Suleiman. But it's their economy is tanking. The Muslim Brotherhood promised that they weren't going to put up a candidate, but they did. His name was Al-Shatar.
Al-Shatar.
So they lied because it was a power grab. It was a power grab. The entire process has now been just dismissed. There's going to be a confrontation. The spring is going to turn into a burning hell.
How do you think the Obama administration has been handling all this, thinking that the Arab Spring is going to usher in some kind of utopia? It appears that the Obama administration is always on the wrong side.
I think that they're big. They're looking for chaos.
You think the administration's looking for chaos?
Chaos.
Tommi, you seem to be getting upset by the opinions here. What is your view of what's happening in Egypt and in the Middle East?
Well, what do you expect the Obama administration to do? Over there, they are ingrained in a certain religion. They are just embedded in it. They're not going to leave it. Okay? You have to deal with what's there. Okay? But interestingly enough, do you know why it's chaos? Because religion is brought into politics, making it some sort of theocracy. The same way the right says this nation was founded on godly principles. Bringing religion into politics always causes chaos. And they got chaos over there, and the right brings chaos into politics when they bring their religion over here.
Okay, just
not as bad as over there, but still the same.
They hack on people's heads, and we say, hey, don't have an abortion. It might be a bad thing.
Caesar, what is Caesar's? The tradition in the West, there's a separation of church and state, and that's why we don't see that. Now, you seem to be critical of Islam for combining
yes,
the church and state.
Any
or mosque and state.
theocracy is absolutely destructive.
Okay, wait, Tommy. Now, why is the Obama administration reaching out to Islamists in the Middle East? Why did Obama have the Muslim Brotherhood in the first 2 rows when he traveled to Cairo? Why doesn't he support the students in Iran trying to overthrow Islamists? Why is he always supporting Islamists?
He does support the students, but you have to be smart enough to deal with what the force of power is. And the truth is, the Muslim Brotherhood is the driving force of power over there, and you are forced to deal with them. And that's what President Obama's doing, and I think he's very brilliant for it.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, Dwight, go ahead.
Look, the Muslim Brotherhood were responsible for the assassination of Sadat. Mubarak was there. They were gone. They were banished because they're a bunch of murdering thugs. That's what they are. Their particular bent on Islam is a religious tunic and political pants. That's it, and they never take their pants off. They take the shirt off when they want to kill or when they want to be political, but they put their shirt back on, the tunic back on when they want to be religious. But Osama bin Laden's right-hand man, and there's a great book called Triple Cross, and a great documentary. His name was Ali Mohammed, and he had penetrated the United States Army and the CIA. And I'll never forget this quote. This is it. This is it in a nutshell, and it comes from Osama bin Laden's right-hand man. He said, "Without political domination, Islam cannot survive."
That's an incredible imitation.
That is it.
That wasn't an imitation.
No.
This is him.
No, but that is, in that one little phrase, that's everything that we're fighting right now. And they understand.
Just wait, can you do that one more time?
Yes. Without political domination, Islam cannot survive.
All right. What's very telling to me is if you isolate Egypt, you don't see the whole picture. The Arab Spring is not just in Egypt. It was throughout the Middle East, including Iran, even though they're not Arabs. And if you look at Obama's different responses to each one, we have an enemy in Iran who might have been overthrown by people who might have become friends. He supported the enemy. All right. In Egypt, we had a friend who, if he was overthrown, might be replaced by an enemy, so he threw the friend under the bus. He dragged his feet in Libya, where an enemy, Muammar Gaddafi, might have been overthrown by the rebels. Now, eventually they were, but no thanks to Obama. He dragged his feet until the rebels could be pushed back. And in Syria, where we have an enemy, he has done absolutely nothing as a second-generation mass murderer is mowing his own people down in the street. Ayn Rand said there are no contradictions. Those seem like contradictions. If you found a contradiction, if you think you have to question your supposition. If you recognize that Obama wants the enemies of America to win, then everything works perfectly.
Makes sense.
Explains every single choice he made.
Maybe President Obama does not want to plunge us into a cataclysmic war.
He's doing
with
it.
The entire Middle East.
He's doing it.
No, he's not.
He is.
To avoid that.
So
Now listen.
Okay.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was starting to get subject to the same paranoias you were. And my friends sat me down and got me stoned.
And you became less paranoid when you were stoned?
Listen, I was able to think things through.
Right. Mm-hmm. When did this happen?
It happened this week.
Okay.
I don't think it's funny. I'm telling you something that...
Sorry, what happened?
I was able to think things through and not be so damned worried about anything. And that's the thing about the left.
Yeah.
The right is afraid of getting stoned, but the left will sit there, get stoned, think it through. What do you think is so funny?
The more drugged up you get, the more leftist you become.
That's not what I'm talking
Okay, so
about.
you got stoned on what? If you don't mind me asking.
Huh?
What was it?
Well, I'm not going to say, but it was a natural herb that grows out of the ground, just like tobacco that you pay whatever you buy at the stupid.
Are you critical of conservatives for not smoking it? Do you think that's part of our problem?
Yes, I think that's a big problem.
I know a lot of conservatives smoke.
Now, what was the breakthrough, though, Tommy? What was the breakthrough? What did you see?
The world is not as bad. There's no great conspiracy. The devil is not trying to take us over.
There was no
Tommy, are you concerned that Obama is bullying Israel, that he's abandoning Israel? Are you concerned that he is reaching out to the Islamists, that we are losing the Middle East? The peace treaty is dead between Egypt and Israel. Does this not worry you? Does this not worry you?
No, I think the president is, as best he can, supporting Israel. You have to remember that Israel is 1/800th the size of the Arab world.
And
That's
it's the
right.
democracy.
It is a tiny, tiny
Right.
little place
So why don't
among
they leave Israel alone then?
massive
So why
Arab world.
do they want
you
to
have
destroy
to
Israel?
deal with
Okay,
the Arab
Dwight.
world.
Okay, Dwight.
Ask Tommy. Okay, Tommy. In 1948, there were two countries that were in. Two countries were formed that are of interest to us right now. One is Pakistan, and the other was Israel. There were 500,000 people killed in the creation of the state of Pakistan. Why does Pakistan have a right to exist there in the Middle East, but Israel does not? Just explain this to me.
I don't get where you. Why do you think Israel does not have a right to exist?
Because the entire Arab world says they don't.
I'm not saying I support that ludicrous thought that the Arab world has. I'm saying something that massive you must deal with.
Explain to me, though. Why does
you
one
deal with
yeah,
them? How would you have dealt with Nazi Germany?
The question. Oh, what? Are you going to go in and annihilate all of the Middle East
I
except
didn't
for
say that,
one
but
tiny
but,
little
but
place?
you pay the
So
price for appeasement.
Oh,
You pay
what
the
is the price? Should we?
You don't know what the price of appeasement was in the Second World War?
But here's the key. When you don't have
Well, then let's just put all our subs and we'll just launch a big nuclear war, and then we'll.
That's not what we're
when
saying.
you don't care about morals, when you only care about numbers, then you say, well, there are a billion people and the Jews are only 12.
Who's dictating?
Tommy, forget about war. Your president, Mr.
Don't
Obama,
point
could
at
have.
me.
Okay, I apologize.
He wasn't. He was pointing at Mr. Obama.
Yeah, I was pointing at Mr. Snuggle.
No,
Okay, Obama could have gotten up when the Iranian students went into the streets.
That's right.
And verbally supported them and said, "We are on your side." That's right. Those are some of the most important
Instead,
things.
He
to
was
do.
trying to not. The thing is, you're dealing with, for instance, a theocracy, and the same thing many on the right are trying to.
And you know what? And you know what?
And you're dealing with
Nazi
a
Germany.
whacked-out
Nazi
theocracy.
Germany was a secularocracy.
You are trying.
And the communists, which is the most murderous ideology in all of human history, was a non-religious secular ideology.
Right.
So stop blaming theology. It depends on what theology. And there's only one theology on the planet today that is murderous. Only one. There are 39 wars on this planet right now. 39 involve the Muslims. 39 involves the Muslims killing the Jews. 39 involve the Muslims killing the Christians. 39 involve the Muslims killing Muslims. 39 out of 39 is Islam, not theology.
Now this is where
Islam.
President Obama
gotta go.
is
Go
doing
ahead. Please
he's
finish
doing
up.
his best. The entire thing is a
Trump does doing
giant
his best.
powder keg. You don't run in there with a torch into a place that's full of TNT. You
But
must
what you
use
do-
diplomacy. You must use
What
diplomacy.
diplomacy?
You must use a little common sense. You don't run in there shaking your sword.
1 second.
Well, that wasn't my
Tommy,
sword.
there's a big wedge between what you say and what you know. Go ahead, Dwight. Finish up this.
When you see these videos of people being beheaded, right? You realize how difficult it is to talk to somebody who wants to cut your head off. Do you realize that your conception of rationality does not exist in the Middle East? Do you know that?
We will be back.
Do you know that?
Thus, the theocracy and bringing religion.
No, it's
Whatever
not
religion
that's
it
not,
is.
But it's not whatever
No, it's
religion
politics.
It is. It's not whatever religion it is. There's one
I don't
religion.
think Westboro Baptist Church should be in politics, and I don't
And they're
think
not. And they're
any
not.
other,
They're not
including
even
radical
mainstream.
Islam, should be in politics.
Join us tomorrow evening where we'll continue this discussion. Good night.